I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter.
This is the Family Showdown! Howdy folks, welcome to the Family Showdown. I'm Rebecca.
I'm Hunter.
And we are continuing in the ongoing saga that is my top 100 games of all time 2018 version.
17.
But it's 2018.
You made your list in 17.
I did. But today we're going to work on 50 through 41. We're in the top half. Woo! So yeah, basically you ask if I want to play this game and I'll say yes.
Don't you say yes to almost any game?
Yes. But this is even more so. That's how cool these are. But, you know, just to keep me grounded, we have my Burninator.
Burninator?
The game critic.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Still waiting to be impressed.
Oh, man. I think instead I'm going to make you faint.
Oh, dear.
So I have half of my list is new this time around.
Wow.
Yeah, this is interesting. We played a lot of games last year. And I did not realize just how many until I really looked at the results of this little list. And a lot of them were just brand new and they made their mark.
Yeah, I would say, just rough guess, we probably played 150 to 200 new games last year.
Yeah, new. New games.
Well, new to us.
Yeah. Yeah, not necessarily 2017 games. As you shall see, my number 50 is a family favorite, which is one of the reasons why it's so high on my list, and that is Sushi Go Party. I'm going to guess this is your 279th.
My list doesn't go that high. It's going to take me a little minute to find it. Go ahead.
This game takes Sushi Go to the next level. In fact, we have replaced this. This is our Sushi Go. It is Sushi Go Party from here on out. It adds a little board and it has a score marker on it. And the game also lets you pick and choose which sets you would like to collect. So the game is going to change. It's going to be different every time, depending on how many players you have and or what types of things you want to collect. So it's still, you know, you're still trading your hand and trying to collect sets and stuff, but it adds that extra element into it. The art is still the same cute, adorable art. It's really fun. The girls love playing this, and just that renewal of Sushi Go and spicing it up, so to speak, with all the extra stuff has made this just a super fun go-to game.
Not on my list.
What a shock. But I love this. You can throw this down with anybody. You can teach anybody that's ever played any kind of card game how to play this game. It's just that easy. And the art, again, adorable. So, that is my number 50. Sushi Go Party.
Well, that's short and easy.
It was. Because it's just like the game.
Ah.
Yeah, it's so close. Alright, my next one is going to make Hunter cry. But that's okay, because it's funny.
Funny. Funny ha-ha or funny oh no?
It depends on who you're asking. Depends on who you're asking. So my number 49, oddly enough, was my 93 last year. Why it made the leap forward, I think, is for two reasons. But let me show you what it is first. This is actually the expansion box, but we have Splendor. And this box kind of shows you one of the reasons. One of the reasons is they have the new expansion. Kind of spiffed it up a little bit. Added some things to the game. And this game, I think part of it is the visual appeal that will bring people to this initially. Because you've got some great, really super heavy-duty poker chips that have the gemstones on them. And you've got cards that cost a certain amount of gems. And they also are gems and or victory points, at least in the base game. And you do a bunch of collecting and hand management, etc. to collect more of those things. And the first person to the right amount of victory points wins the game. Cities of Splendor has a bunch of different modular expansions that you can add to that spice it up a bit and change some of the rules around or add something extra on top of it for a little extra challenge. And I think part of the reason, besides the expansions and starting to get to play it some more again is that Nessa in particular has fallen in love with this game and likes learning about it and playing it on, trying to do it on her own. So it's been kind of fun to kind of re-explore the game from the beginning over again. So I really enjoy this game a lot.
So of the games I ranked that I'd made a decision to rank, it came in dead last. 185. I'm not sure why it was even on my list to rank, but it was, and it finished last. It's an okay game. It's okay.
Some people's opinions are just better than others.
It is okay. I would never pick this game over Century Spice Road.
Interesting.
Even with the expansions.
Yeah, now it's...
But I'll play it. I just would never pick it.
Yeah, see, and I think this one's a great one. It takes up a little bit of table space, so I wouldn't necessarily say, hey, go play this in a restaurant kind of thing. But for me, this is a great one if you're wanting to just have a casual game and sit and chat with people, because it doesn't take so much brain power that you have to sit there and stare at it and stay in game. You can chat and stuff while you're doing this. Yes, I know, this is your favorite game to say, whose turn is it? Yeah. Oh, you guys are talking again. Somebody's a little too...
This game is the game of whose turn is it. I say that at least a dozen times every time I play this game.
That's why I play with other people other than him.
Whose turn is it? Looking at someone. And they're like, oh, let me tell you about my day and what's going on down the street and everything. And it's like, are we playing a game or are we having a conversation?
Oh, my goodness.
Whose turn is it, the game?
Huh.
Mine 185.
Apparently Hunter needs therapy in a box next, so yes.
Whose turn is it?
Interesting.
Whose turn is it anyway?
Alright, that was my 93. It is now my 49. Next one on the list is new, and I could see it shuffling around in my top 100, potentially more with more plays, but I think it speaks volumes that it is this high, being new to the list. And that is the adorable alpacas in Altiplano. This is a... Oh, goodness. I'm going to think of his name. Rainer Stockhausen, I think I said his name correctly, game. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Uwe Rosenberg style games, or like Orléans a little bit. It's got a lot of engine building. You're trying to build stuff up. It's very much like Orléans, and then you're like doing a bag building. But in this instance, instead of putting everything back in at the end of every turn, you actually use everything in the bag before you put anything back in the bag. So the strategy behind that's going to be slightly different than Orléans. But to me, it's just got a lot of different choices and things you're going to do. It's the same kind of placement of the specific types that you have collected of your different chits, and then you've also got a warehouse that you want to manage. That's where I kind of remind me of Uwe a little bit, because you're filling up the space and getting the points by filling that up, and you're keeping track of that. And the art's really nice, really cute game, and I really like the weight and the time that it takes. It's a great go-to two-player game. I don't think we've played this with more than 2 players yet, but I think it would probably be just as fun with multiple players. So that is Altiplano. It's new to my list at number 48.
So we played this game after I made my list.
Yes.
So obviously it's not on my list. And just taking a quick glancey at my list, I'd say high 20s, low 30s for me.
Wow, you really liked this game.
Yeah.
So
somewhere in that range.
It tells you where it's made an impact for us. Yeah, super neat game. And I think it's only got opportunities for growth as far as that goes. Now, it's funny because you actually mentioned my 47, and it is also new to the list.
Oh, Century?
Yes. Yes, indeed. Century Spice Road. Obviously, as you can see, I put it on a similar weight to Splendor. I like this one a little bit more because this game is just plain smooth. I love this. You're doing the same basic sorts of things. You're taking different colored cubes instead of gems this time and stuff, but you're building up your own engine where you're going to produce the right amounts of these to go get these other cards, build it up and such. And again, most victory points wins, blah blah blah. You know the drill. But the way they go about this and the different cards that you have and how the turns go, it feels like a smoother game. Wouldn't you agree? Like, it's a lot smoother than Splendor. I feel like it's smoother than Splendor.
I think it's, well, maybe, I don't know if smoother's the right word, but Splendor is lighter than this game. It's easier to learn. It's easier to teach. Plays a little faster, I think. Less rules, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So this one's, to me, is a little more gamery than Splendor. And that's
see
why
that.
it's
I can see that.
higher up on my list. And why I prefer it over Splendor. Just because I like the hand management, which you don't have any of that really in Splendor.
Splendor, no.
You have one, you can reserve a card. That's the limit of the hand management you
That's
do.
true.
It's just, I like the deciding, I like games where you play cards and they stay down until you take an action to pull them back. I like that mechanism, and
That's true.
That's kind of
That
is kind of the mechanism for Splendor. I mean,
That's
for
true. It's
Century.
more that you have a hand that you're dealing with than opposed to just building a tableau
Right.
in Splendor. So yeah, I can see that. So yeah, there's just a few things to consider if you're looking at one over the other. But I like them both, and I consider them two different games. I kind of basically for the reasons that you said.
Yeah.
To be honest, they feel like they're different enough.
Yeah, but it's still getting cubes to buy cards that allow you to buy more cubes.
At its heart, it's a very similar game, but the way they go about it's different. Yeah. So, anyway, I really like it. Really like it. Again, maybe not quite as... I don't know, the artwork on this is pretty awesome, though. I was going to say, visually, you're like...
Well, the Gollum edition's supposed to be even better, so...
Yeah, that's true, too. And we don't have that. We haven't played that yet, but... If you are interested, I would go check out and see which one you might like more. Because, yeah, I hear great things about Gollum Edition as well. So there you have it. That is Century Spice Road, my number 47.
My 142.
What?
Well, it's 43 points higher than Splendor. Right?
This one's hovering at almost exactly the same spot that it was last year. It was number 40 last year, and this year it is 46. And I think, honestly, it's just because it didn't get played much this year, and I really think that's probably the only thing keeping it, like, that dropped it. And I have trouble getting it out here, hiding my thing. It's this beast of a game, Age of Empires 3, Age of Discovery. Normally, this isn't necessarily my cup of tea, because... area control, I'm like, not too crazy about it. But this game is not all about that. This is kind of a two-parter game. The board is, at least in this version, is kind of split in two, so to speak. You've got one half that show all the different players. You've got soldiers and missionaries, captains, what's his name? The colonists. And you can change them out. There's a merchant ship. There's all these different things in it. Trading activities and maneuvering to get resources and stuff over on this side of the board. And then you get to take your colonists over. And then on the other half of the board, you have the map. And then you can go and settle these areas. You can fight people if you need to or want to. You can get resources from the land. There's like 2 sections to each round, and I really love the way this game moves with that. It's really fun to convert your regular little soldier dudes and get a captain because he does so many more abilities, or he's worth more victory points doing stuff. He's able to do things that a regular soldier wouldn't. I love it. The merchant ships are a really fun little thing because they end up being kind of a wild card for your set collection with your resources. So if you're just one shy, but you have a merchant ship, you're good. Those can add up to some fantastic bonuses later. Super awesome game. This is, I don't even remember what year. What year did this one come out? It was, this says 2007 on the box.
Yep.
So
there's a new 2000, I want to say 13 or 14 version.
I'd say shiny new, but that's not really shiny new. It's about 5 years shiny old. But
maybe it's yeah, it's 14, 15, 13.
Yeah, they have that relatively newer version. I'm still happy with this one. I don't want to change it, honestly. But if you do want to look, there's probably still that newer one floating around. And you can get yourself a copy of it. Love Age of Empires 3, Age of Discovery. And I'm guaranteeing that this is higher on your list.
Much higher. Now, I'm curious why it's not higher on your list. Because you always seem to have a blast when you play this.
Probably the area control stuff. Because I tend to kind of shove it to the side, to be honest, to play with all the other fiddly bits that I like to do.
Fair enough. It is my number 13.
Yeah, it's a good game. Don't get me wrong.
It's an amazing game.
It is an awesome game. It's super fun to play.
Yeah, I like it.
But I like the other games that much more, I guess, is my... Just saying.
I like games where you have workers that you can change into cooler workers.
Yes, it's fairly unique. I mean, there's really not a ton of games that do that.
Yep.
So, and that one is an old one that does it well. So there you have it. That was my 46. My number 45 was my number 31 last year. It's dropped a little bit, and honestly, I'm not entirely sure we've played it in the... Well, if we've played it in the last year, or if it's only been like once, which is probably what caused it to drop. And who knows, another play. But we also have a lot of similar games now, and that is San Juan. I think part of this is the lightness.
It's been a while since we played this.
It's been a while since we played it, and it's a little bit lighter than for what it does to what my tastes are, because I like something that has this and something now. But what's fun with San Juan is you've got these multi-purpose cards, and you're working on different, I guess, you have some kind of set collection, right, with the resources. You're building up these resources, and you're trying to get these special buildings that help you get different things, and you want to trade in your resources for the most points. And it's just, I really like the engine in this game, and I like the way the cards are used. But it's a lighter version of what we do a lot with different Feld games. It kind of reminds me of like Bruges, you know, am I
little bit,
little bit, because you have the multi-purpose cards. But this one's a lot lighter. I feel like it's lighter anyway.
Oh yeah, it's lighter.
And so I think that's probably the main reason it's dropped. But it's still really high on my list, as you can see, because it's in the 40s. And I love it. And it plays pretty quickly, especially if you've played a lot of Feld games or heavier games, because then you can just throw this one down and you don't really have to go over the rules more than that real quickly, and you're ready to go. So, in fact, what does it say on here? Yeah, it says 45 to 60 minutes, and I bet you we're on the 30 to 45 minute end of this now, because it's quick and easy go-to once you get familiar with it. So, super fun. I love it. I wouldn't mind playing it again, actually, very soon.
On the back of the box, it says, a great two-player game.
Because it is. It is a great two-player game.
Yeah, this one...
love it as two-player.
It's weird. It lands in that weird spot for me.
Does it?
So it's my 107.
Really? That low? I'm shocked.
Because it lands in a weird spot, because it's like half a meal to me. I mean, it's
it is not. Yeah, we're used to more now.
It's too heavy to be a light casual game,
Yeah.
and it's too light to be a real board game.
A real board game. Wow, that didn't sound elitist at all.
That's my job here. So yeah, I like this game a lot. It just, like I said, it falls in a dead zone for me. Because I'd rather, if I'm going to pull this out, I'd rather play like a full-blown hour and a half midweight Euro game.
I can see that.
Or I'd rather go the other route and play something really light. If we're going to knock down a light game, I'd rather play something quick and easy. It just kind of falls in that nebulous area where it's like a appetizer plus. I'd rather just have the meal or just eat an appetizer, I guess.
Life is rough. That sounds like first world problems right there. First world problems.
Too many games.
Too many games. Ah. Yeah, but I still love it. It's holding strong at my, what did I say, 45? Yeah, obviously a good game to go look for. My number 44 is new to the list because we got it within the last year. We've played it several times, and I really enjoy it. And that is one of our buddy Feld's games, Luna! This game, the theme didn't really stand out for me or anything. Some of his kind of do, some don't. But what stood out for me is the movement mechanism in this game. You've got your main island, and then you've got a bunch of little satellite islands around it. And you need to go put meeples on those islands to do specific things. But there's also this priest dude that is traveling around systematically around the islands.
Priestess.
Was it a priestess?
Yes.
I always forget. There's some priest.
There's an evil wizard dude or something.
Evil dude. There's a priestess and an evil wizard dude, correct? Right, there's one of each. And if he lands on there when you have meeples on the island, bad things happen. It's a huge detriment. So you also not only have to plan on getting your meeples to this island, getting all the benefits, but you need to skedaddle before he shows up and lose all the stuff that you just gained, basically. So I really like that because the whole time you're doing your typical Feld point salad, doing this and that and the other thing, but you have to pay attention to where this guy is headed because it's not just really easy to say, oh, I moved my guys out of there. You have to plan, like everything you do in Feld. You need to plan on them leaving. It's a very efficient thing, and if you take too much time, you're not going to be able to get everybody off in time. Just an interesting balance, and it's a little bit different from some of the other stuff he's got, so I like it.
Yep, this is my made my list. It is my number 86. Not one of my favorite Felds, but still a great game.
Yep.
I enjoy it. We need to play this one again. We haven't played this one in a while.
We haven't. Yep. We're saying that a lot. It's the beginning of the year. We'll get going on it. But yeah, it's really neat. I like the mechanisms that he played with in that one. This one was our next one. My number 43 was my number 85 last year. Ooh. 85.
Wow.
It has leaped up. Part of the reason, actually, pretty much the whole reason, was we just recently acquired this game before I made the list. And I think we got 1, maybe 2 plays in. And I knew when I put it there, I was like, this is already on my list. And I think with more plays, it's going to go up. And it did quite a bit. And it's likely to remain pretty steadily here for a little while. And that is one of our go-to 2-players, Targi. This is not a super heavy game by any stretch. But you set out a bunch of cards and you make a grid with it. But then you're putting down pegs to kind of block out a row and then a column. And where these intersect is the action that you're going to take. And you're also blocking things from your opponent. It's a great 2-player strategic game, and you get different resources, and obviously you're doing different things to get these victory points. But I just love what the board is, the fact that it's these cards, and once you do them, they are spent, and you replace different cards as you use them throughout the game. So your board is changing up each round, what you're getting to do, and it's really pretty quick game. It's one of those that's easy to learn, but it takes a little while to pick up on some good strategies, or you'll find different strategies each time you play. Love it. Again, highly portable. Doesn't take up a ton of table space. It just kind of hits on all the good stuff, all the good points for me. So, Targi leaped up my list.
So, this is my 120. This suffers from the same problem that the last.
You think so? You really think so?
It's an hour long and it's super light. It's
not super light.
Actually, someone gave me some grief about using super light all the time.
Exactly. It's not super light.
It's somewhat light.
For definitions on game lightness, do not ask Hunter
120. No, it's a great game. It's a good one.
No, it's super good. I love
I wouldn't pass up playing it. It just, I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know.
It's too light for you, apparently.
It's not too light for me. It's just not one of my first choices.
This one, I think, was a fun surprise, too, because one of you viewers actually had mentioned it to us. It was like, you need to try this game. I think you'll really like it. And as soon as I did, it was like, oh, I do. I love this. I love this. So that's one reason, again, this is why we got into this board gaming thing, is because of the conversations we have with you guys and back and forth about, hey, I like this game, what about you? Because that's how we started. It was researching games that we liked to find good games, and we're still doing that with you guys, and I love that. And this was one of those examples right here. So, cool go-to 2-player. I'm not sure why the box lid's all funky. Oh my. Nothing to see here.
Put that away.
Nothing to see here.
Put that away.
Pass that away quickly.
But you also got to think that when I say it's my 120.
Oh yeah. No, that's still really good.
We've played.
Stupidly good.
I'm guessing since we started getting back into board games, we probably played 700 different games, 700 different games.
I think it's more than that. Let's put this in perspective. We have 400 plus
500
around us.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, so if you think about the doing the math here, I'm pretty sure we're well over 1,000. So if it's in the top, yeah.
Maybe.
Just saying.
Maybe we played 1,000 games. Maybe. There's
no maybe. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm pretty sure we've
maybe played 1,000 games.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting to see how stuff changes with more plays and everything, and I love it. Love it. And now, moving on to my number 42. It's my last new one to the list for this week. This will make Hunter cry. You know what it is. I know you do. The Oracle of Delphi. Look at him cry. Oh, this is one of his favorite Felds.
It is my favorite Feld.
Oh, hey, it's his favorite Feld. It's not my favorite Feld, spoiler alert. But I like it a lot. This one, the theme is really cool. Of course, I geek out on Greek and Roman stuff, so of course I was interested in that. But that's not what actually sold me on this. What really did it is Feld and his magical salady goodness went a different track with this one. It's more of a racing game. So now, instead of just doing your point salad and calling that good, you've got certain, shall we say, you have a checklist of items you need to do of different things. And you can accomplish them in any order, but you need to accomplish them before your opponents. And I just love the racing element in it. I love the fact that you're taking these little ships to different islands and fighting different mythological beasts and bringing a statue to a temple, it's awesome. Love it. I love the art. I like it when he picks games with brighter colors. That's one thing that Luna, I think, kind of, the toned down colors didn't really do it for me. But this one, as you can see even by the cover, he uses the bright colors again for this, and just blast of a game. And it seems like this one plays I don't know if it plays much longer than some of his other ones, but it doesn't feel like it because you're racing in this one. It feels like it goes more quickly. And I'm sure that's an illusion, but I don't know. This one seems to go much more quickly for me than some of his other ones. But so tell us, because this is your baby.
So, Oracle of Delphi. Amazing. So anyway, this game has it all. It has everything. Several things I like about the game, including all the things she said. But I also like the fact that when other players roll their dice, and a lot of Feld games, it's kind of isolated. They do their thing, You actually can get a benefit when people roll their dice on their turn for yourself. And then at the end of the turn, something bad potentially happens that everyone has to build towards. So there's a lot of interest in what's going on with other players, and also the fact that when you're exploring around the islands, other players can open up things for you to do by their exploration. So you're interested when they explore. It just seems like a lot of times when you play Feld games, you're just doing your own thing. You're kind of got your head down and you're going about your turn, and then it's the next person's turn. They do the same thing. This one, you're really watching the board. You're seeing what's going on. You're watching what the players are rolling. You're watching what the players are doing. Are they building up their defense? Do you need to build up your defense as well? Because if you both get a negative thing, it's not as bad as if one person gets a negative thing and someone else does. This one just seems a lot more interactive, a lot more interesting to me. This one gets a lot of grief from a lot of the hardcore Feld people from what I've seen, in the terms that it's got dice rolling, which you can totally mitigate the dice rolls. You have all kinds of ways to mitigate the dice rolls. And the fact that it's not a scoring. There's no scoring in the game. There's the first one to finish wins. So
that's it.
A lot of people like to play Feld games. They want to kind of churn up their engine and get it going and get an efficient thing going, and then boom, get a ton of victory points. This one is just go and you're off to the races, literally. So
and the trick with this one is an engine building of a different type. What you want to do is maximize efficiency. So you want to look at, over here is this island where this temple is, and there's a statue I need to transport, and it's on the way to this place, and there's this and this. You need to see what's the best track for you to do. And I think people don't see that translated the way that he did. I don't know. But it's just really cleverly done.
It's the kind of logic puzzle kind of game that I like. This is one of the few. This is the type of puzzle I like, where like you said, where it's building efficiencies, right? It's like, oh wait, if I can do this on the way to there, then I can do this other thing, and I can start working on this other thing on the way.
But you just explored that and told me this is the place I need to go to now, and it's really cool.
And it has special powers cards you can get with special powers. Each of them has a unique ship that's a little bit different than the others. It's just
Well, and it's neat too because you also have the god powers. You get special things
Right.
as they rank up. So you trying to do things that chalk those up. You're very, I've never been so excited about some of the dice you've rolled before as this game because it's like, yes, I finally get that bonus now.
Right.
And
in most games, you can care less what the other players are rolling. You can
exactly.
Care less.
It's not going to affect
you.
You
could not
but...
care less. I mean, let me use
there you go.
You
Yes,
cannot
Papa.
care less.
Yes.
Orca Delphi, best ever.
Yes.
As far as spells.
It is. All right. My number 41, the last one for today, was my number 27, and it has dropped. Chances are, I think Oracle will probably overtake it in the next year, just because of the plays and how they play and everything. But I still love me some Deus.
Oh.
Love Deus. It's... Again, along a similar vein of games to me, I kind of lump all these together because they're similar in weight. This one may be a tad bit lighter than Oracle. But you've got... I wonder if I can show you this.
Probably destroyed. Oh,
no, they're in bags. They're in bags. It has interesting... These little... pieces, and you put them together...
Hexagonal-ish?
Ish. We'll say ish. They're special shapes. And you make a randomized map that way. And the different landscapes give you different things and benefits. What I love, the thing that fascinates me with this game is you're getting these cards and you're building up an engine. And you get abilities based off of, like, for example, green cards are production. Okay, so when those fire off, any green cards you've produced are going to fire. That is so cool because what happens is it's not the top card that you've placed, it's all of them. So when you get these cards, you're going to actually ladder them. You're going to stack them up and they chain. So you can get bonuses galore and it's just so awesome to build this engine and then watch it fire off and you get all this stuff going. And I love it. And there's movement. You move around and build buildings, and I'm trying to remember. I think there's some light attacking, isn't there? If I recall, with the there's a.
Well, no, there's like neutral characters that you fight.
That's right. That's what it is. It was the neutral characters on the land. It's been a little while since I played it, but you can go and get bonus points and victory points for taking over those regions that have someone, but you have to fight them first. So your military cards are going to come into play, and there's something about the theme. Could probably give or take so much because I feel like it's a little bit pasted on. It's supposed to do something with the gods.
That's as pasted on as Elysium is, in a way. I mean, each the gods give the different benefits based on.
That's true. They kind of made it. They did make it semi-thematic. That's true, but they don't really mention the gods' names or anything. Elysium at least has the gods' names and the art. I don't recall on the cards. I'm gonna look and see now because now I'm curious. But it's kind of just casually mentioned that's what's going on, but to me, they're special abilities. I never thought of them as like, oh, this has to do with Hades.
Yeah, see.
I never once... Okay, so Neptune is maritime. Oh, that's cool. They use the Roman names. Jupiter, Mars, Vesta. So, apparently there are gods associated with each of the powers.
But you would never know it without looking in the rulebook.
Yeah, exactly, because they don't say on the cards at all.
Yeah.
So, again, I feel like this is a little more pasted on, but it works, and it didn't bother me because I love the way the game plays. I love the way that you can just fire off all these special things at once. So the stuff that you build, it's not really an upgrade or anything, it's an engine. And so you should check it out. I think it takes, what is the time on it? Hour and a half. Yeah, so it's not long. It hits the sweet spot as far as time for us. This was great 2-player, and I would think that it would be really good as a 4-player as well.
I think we just increase the size of the map.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, yeah. Because it's not super interactive between the players as much, except for over the map.
Yeah, trying to take over areas.
Yeah,
and they're fighting the neutral guys.
Yeah, I'm fighting neutral guys, but your tableau and stuff is not going to interact. It's not like Settlers where you can destroy other people's things or anything like that.
You might.
House rules, okay. Flip the table. There's always that. But I like games that involve a lot of cards, and I like that strategy, as you can see, because you saw I've already got a couple of Felds thrown in the list this high up. So this is that type of game that I really love. So if you also like that sort of game, you should definitely check out Deus. Doesn't this have an expansion or something too?
Yes.
We don't even have it. I just like the base game. So take that for what it's worth too. You don't have to fluff it up to have fun with it.
It gives you more options. It
Yeah.
gives you it gives you a second set of every color. So
Nice.
And you can pick and choose which ones you want to do.
So in other words, it sounds like if you play this a lot, you should probably get the expansion. Right. So, but that's good. But anyway, that's my number 41.
93.
Really?
90.
Under 100 people.
93.
Under 100.
It was my 47, so it's on its way out.
Because it's lighter.
I like this game. It just doesn't hit the table that often. I think I want to, like many of our games. I don't think we've never played this with more players. I'm curious how it would play with more players.
Yeah, that's an opportunity issue we'll have to resolve. Well, anyway, so now you know we're just getting to just some ridiculously good games. I mean, I get so excited about these, and the lists keep getting better and better. So tune in next week and check out the next section. We're going to look at my 30s. This is crazy. 40 to 31 coming up. We'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us.